Oh my god, I need to tell you this story. A couple of days ago, I was back at my roommate's parents' house, right? That's where I usually like chill because my dog's there and it's a whatever. So I was there, and then it was like 4 in the morning. It was 4 in the morning and I was getting like really thirsty. So the position of the house, there's like 2 floors, right? I would sleep in with my roomie in her room, which is upstairs. So I went downstairs to get like a drink. And as I was going back upstairs, my roommate's dad came outside of his room, which was located right beside the stairs. So he went outside and I was like, ah, shit. Like I need to like not shock him because it's 4 in the morning, right? And when I walk, I'm very like soft. Like people don't usually notice I'm there because I have very like soft footsteps most of the time. And I was just like trying to keep quiet because it's 4 in the fucking morning. So I was like, shit, like how do I do this? Like if I were to be like, hey dude, you know, I'm scared he's gonna be like, whoa, right? So I was like, maybe I should be like quiet. So I stopped moving. I was standing right there, right?
That's so creepy, man.
Because I was like, if I kept walking, he's gonna be like, oh shit, there's like footsteps, like what the fuck's happening?
I think it's even like more creepy if you just not move and like they see you not standing. That's a little harder to explain than, oh, I was just going to the bathroom. You know?
That's the thing, like I tried to be like as less shocking as possible. So I stood there like on like right beside like on like near the stairs. Like I just stood there.
Oh, that's even worse. You're standing like beside the stairs and you're waiting.
You wanna know something else that happened? Like the thing is, I didn't realize this, chat, but like I've told you guys that like I sleep, like I like to wear oversized clothing, and during like that day I was wearing like an oversized, like a massive white t-shirt that's kind of like a dress kind of a thing.
So that makes you look like a fucking like The Grudge.
Yeah, so I was just standing there with like water in my hands, like silently, right? And I was just like standing there and I was like, shit, how do I like not scare the dude? So I was just like standing there and I was like, maybe I should like walk, you know, maybe I should like pretend like you know, like it's normal for something to be there. So I took one step forward and I was like, fuck, like I took one step forward and then I stopped with one foot in front, and the dad like turned around, right, to go downstairs because he was about to get water too. So he turned around, saw me. He literally jumped up and like, you know that the like the karate move hands, like the you know what I mean? He jumped backwards, like you can, because he's a pretty big dude, right? He's a pretty big dude, so he jumped backwards. There's like the loudest thud, like boop, you know, like he jumped back, did the karate move hands, and just stared at me and just like silence, right? No words.
Because you fucking look like The Grudge.
I know, and I was like the only thing I could say was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. And he's just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I was getting water.
You have like loose clothes, it's white, you're on higher ground so that he can see you easily and you're not moving. Like those like
no, I'm like on lower ground. Like I'm like a bit lower than him, but then like it's completely dark, by the way. Like it's completely dark. Like all the lights are off, you know? So then like he turned around, saw me, and I was just like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, what are you doing? And then I was just like, I was getting water. And then I know that this dude, like, he is super nice. He's trying to like brush it off like it's not a big deal. He's like, ha 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 ha, man, ha ha ha, right? Like that, right? And I was like,
I'm so they're wet.
Yeah, I was like, I'm so sorry. And then I went back into my roomie's room. And the next day, like I didn't tell anyone this because I don't want to be like, oh, by the way, I scared your dad. Like I didn't want to do that, so I just stayed quiet about it. And the next day, the whole fucking house knew. Like everyone, like in the morning, I went down to get like food, and then like my roomie's mom was there, my roommate was there, and they're just like, by the way, what the fuck happened yesterday? Because apparently, my roommate's dad was so fucking scared. He went down to get water, went back up, woke up my roommate's mom, and just like start ranting about me. Like, do you know how fucking scared? Yeah, he just went full on me. He was like, do you know?
Woke up his wife just to rant?
Yeah, he woke up my roommate's mom to be like, listen here, bitch. Like, I love her, but sometimes, okay, she doesn't know what the fuck to do. Like, she just shocked me, and like, dude, it was so scary. Until now, my heart's racing. Like, I don't think I can fall asleep. Like, everything's fucking terrifying. I thought there was an intruder in our house, blah, blah, blah. And my roommate's mom was like, okay, shut the fuck up. It's like almost 5 in the morning. I need to go to bed. And he's like, no, you have to wake up. You have to wake up. And then apparently, I felt so bad for this, but apparently, her dad, sometimes he can be a bit like, he's a very safe person, right? So he gets a bit paranoid sometimes. what I like to do, because I know they're very paranoid people. Like if I go down and get something, I would make sure to clean it so that like the evidence is not there. So if the next day they're like, you know, if let's say I go down and the door's wide open, they're gonna be like, shit, like did I forget to like close it yesterday? You know what I mean? So I try to leave things as it was before I came so that they're not gonna like notice anything different. But my roommate's parents, like my roommate's dad dragged his wife at 5 in the morning to check around the house to make sure, because he was so convinced it wasn't me. He was so convinced it was an intruder or something, or like something happened.
Posing as you?
Yeah. And like he would check the whole place. And keep in mind, chat, like I was like at 4 in the morning, I drank my drink, I went back to, like I go to bed, right? So apparently he entered the room multiple times, woke up my roommate at like 7 in the morning, and he's like, by the way, did Mika ever like woke up? Like did Mika like, has Mika always been here? Like did she go outside? And my roommate's like, I don't know, I was asleep. And then he's just like overthinking. And then he didn't want to wake me up. He didn't want to be like, by the way, were you the person like on the stairs? You know what I mean?
Why didn't he ask you? That would be like the most
because he didn't want to wake me up. Like he doesn't want to wake me up. Yeah, like he sleeps pretty late and he wakes up pretty late, you know? But like everyone else is like a morning person but him. So then like my roommate's mom literally told me like by the way, Mika, it's all because of you. We had to stay up until 7 in the morning because he would not rest until he knew everything was safe, because he was so convinced that I was like an intruder. But like he's like she was like, what did you do? It scared him so much. And I was like, nothing.
Okay, but like that's a little extreme, man. This guy
Because
is extreme.
the way he explained it to her was that like from his point of view, right, he was gonna go outside and get a glass of water, but then from like he was like right there and he saw like something in the corner of his eye and he was like, I'm not gonna look, like I'm not gonna look, right? But then like the object moved and he had to look because it moved, and then he saw me, and the first thing he saw was like black hair, right, and then like white, and then he was so ready to just like piss himself like at that moment because he already saw me apparently. But I was like standing still, and then I thought like maybe I won't shock him if I just take a step forward. But me taking a step forward actually was like the most shocking thing to him, because it's like, shit, the thing moved, you know? Like he was like ready to be like, oh, there's something there, I'm just gonna go back into my room. But because it moved, he was like, fuck, you know? And then like she just got so mad at me. Like they were just like, Mika, what the fuck? Everyone found it funny except for him. I think he genuinely had a grudge on me for like the whole day. Because like I would talk to him and he'd be like,
just scared.
Yeah, like I would talk to him and he would be like, you know, like he was like,
Damn.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. I tried my best though. I really, really tried not to scare him. And I didn't know what to do. Like imagine if you got outside at like 5 in the morning and the first thing you hear is like, hey, like you would get fucking butt fuck scared, you know? So I was like, maybe if like he just
wouldn't like be like him and like check everything, you know? Just it's kind of extreme. He must have like some sort of like trauma with ghosts or something.
I think he's just really a super safe person. Like ever since I known him, he's always been like the type to like recheck all the doors before he goes to bed, you know? The plus point is I feel super safe though if I'm like there, because like I know that like everything is like locked and like secured, you know?
All you really have to check is the front door if it's locked.
He checks everything. He checks like everything. Damn. Yeah, that's why like I try my best to like not bother anyone if it's like late at night, right? And then he's just like,
at that point it's not even cautious, it's just paranoia.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's not really my place. I can't call him out, but it is definitely paranoia. But I scared the living shit out of him, and then I think I deadass think they're upset at me.
Well, that's just like that one time.
But I tried my best.
Out of all the people you scared, you probably just scared the worst person, you know, because he's just scared all the time. So.
I know, that's the thing. Like, I tried my best though. It's not like I mean to, you know? Like, when I mean to scare someone, they're not scared. But the moment I try not to scare someone, they fucking jump backwards and just like ninja chop the air or something. It was fucking hilarious to see though, but I felt really bad for laughing. So I was just like smiling. I was like, sorry. But like, I was so ready to laugh.
Yeah, well, every time I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I always turn on the lights, like, to the way of the bathroom, so that, you know, if anybody else wakes up, they'll be like, oh, there's someone in the bathroom. But also because I'm scared, too. Like, I don't like the dark. But I'm quite surprised none of you, like, for two people scaredy cats. You both of you guys didn't open the lights.
That's the thing. In real life, I'm not scared of the dark though. Like most of the time,
Really?
yeah, most of the time in like
Yeah.
even my apartment, like if I were to go to like the kitchen, like middle of the night and everything's like all the lights are off and like you can't see shit, I would like stand outside of my room first to adjust the lighting and I just like walk around and do whatever the like if I want to eat snacks, I eat it in the dark. Like I don't like having to readjust the
Well-
light in my eyes.
That's how you scare the shit out of people, okay? Like
Yeah.
you're in the dark and you're making a bunch of noise and they can't quite see you yet, and then they see you and they're like, "What the fuck?" So that is how you
Yeah.
fucking scare the living shit out of people.
you
Maybe
know-
turn on the lights.
You know something, chat? Like if I were to snack, right? Like I have a sofa, but sometimes I like to just eat in front of the fridge. So I take something out of the fridge, close it, and just squat in front of the fridge and eat.
Okay, that's even worse because
So
then
then
you
the-
fucking
yeah.
then people think you're a fucking raccoon or a fucking gremlin, you know?
No, the way like my roommate ever like fell asleep on the couch and then like she stood up and the first thing she saw was like there's like someone like squatting and like chip eating, you know, like and like squatting in front of the fridge and she just like yelled at me. But like it's fine. Like that's what I like to just like squat in the dark and like eat or drink or play my phone. It kind of makes me feel
Okay.
safe, you know? It's like if I don't see it doesn't see me,
Well,
I
it
feel
doesn't make
safe.
everybody else feel safe, Mika, okay?
Not my problem. I'm such an ass though. I've never been scared of the dark in real
Feel
life.
safe. Like fucking freaks out everyone else.
I'm
That's
sorry.
funny.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's why when people are like, I'm scared of the dark, I'm like, yikes. I think I know why. I feel like I've made people scared of the dark because like I would just appear randomly at like 5 a.m. or like 3 a.m. just like right there in the middle of the living room, just like standing there because I'm just trying to readjust the
never wake
light.
up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to be like,
I'll
okay,
be
I can see in the dark now. I can see, you know. But then I need to stand there in silence for like a minute. So if you were like to enter in that time frame, oops.
I feel like I'm less afraid of the dark now and more afraid of you being in the dark. Like
I'm sorry. It's a really bad habit though, but I've always done that ever since I was young, so kind of hard habit to
because if you're
break.
a kid, it's cute and it's like, oh, you're so tiny, and you're like kind of like squatting. But then, like if you're a fucking grown ass woman and you're like squatting in front of the fridge, it's like, bro, sit please somewhere or turn on the
Oh my
light or do
God.
something.
So many people was always so upset at me ever since I was young though, because as a kid, right, I would like run around in the dark, and then you can just hear like little children footsteps, like yeah, like
Oh my god.
you know, because like I like doing that back then. Now I'm
Bro,
just
you're a
lazy.
fucking curse.
I know, I'm so sorry. That's why I feel like some people are like, oh my god, you're a ghost, but you're not scary. It's like, I'm not. I don't try to though, but I have like
Imagine
really weird
Mika's
habits.
First few steps were in the dark at like 4 a.m. where nobody was awake and all you hear is like your baby that you assume that couldn't walk yet, but then Mika starts walking in the middle of the night by herself and you just hear like you're just like, who the fuck is, yeah, and then you're like, oh yeah, I first learned how to, my first baby steps were at 4 a.m. in the dark where nobody was awake and I'm just walking around like a baby. Yeah,
I try not to be like scary though. That's the thing. I'm not trying to. When I try not to be, my habits make it terrifying for some reason. Because I like to do a lot of things. Like I'm more active at night, but like because it's always dark, I'm already accustomed to like doing stuff in the dark. You know? So people that are not used to seeing me do that is like freaked out because they're like, there's something there, you know? And it's like, no, it's just me. I'm just grabbing a bottle of water. That's just the noises. I'm so sorry. But I'm not gonna say anything because I don't like talking either. So just like silently, I'd walk up to you silently with a glass of water and I'd be like, sorry, I have a glass of water.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was thirsty.
I
And I'd be
don't
like, what the fuck?
talking. Yeah, like, and like energy wise, it's like I have a boost of energy at like 4 a.m. But then like I don't like talking above 4 a.m. So it's like I would just do stuff and like be completely silent the whole time until like I go to bed.
Yeah, I get that. Like,
Right?
I'm an night owl too, but like I don't like to talk. I mean, like productive wise. I'm
Yeah.
very productive at night, but not like in the sense of like having a conversation with someone because usually there's nobody awake either way.
Yeah.
So,
A lot of people say it's like creepy. It's because like they didn't hear shit, you know, that they kind of find it creepy.
like
So it's like-
imagine you're like apologizing, but you're saying it very quietly, and you're just like mouthing it, and they can't hear you because their heartbeats are too loud, and all you see is just like girl standing there with a glass of water, being like,
You know how I talk? Like when I do try and like force myself to talk at that time, I sound okay, this is how I sound like chat, right? Voice reveal when I'm lazy as fuck. Like usually if I shock people, right? It's like let's say I shocked Enna. I would feel really bad, but then like if I do it now, I'm like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. Like that's how I'd sound like. But if it's like late, I'm just gonna be like, oh my bad.
that just sounds like
That's
you're
it.
fucking like you're haunting me. That's how like ghosts talk.
I just sound
know?
like, oh
They just say like 2 words and super close to your ear,
yeah.
and then they just piss off. That's all. That's literally what ghosts do.
Like I whisper, but then when I whisper, my voice gets lower. I can't whisper in a high-pitched voice as well. So when I whisper, naturally my voice gets deeper, and then they're just like, "What the fuck? It's a man!
The ghost is a man.
It's a man!" Like, oh my god, I thought it
Damn.
was a ghost, and I was about to get so scared until I realized it's a man. Now I'm terrified.
Never room with Mika, man. I'll be too afraid.
I'm sorry,
Too
chat.
afraid.
Oh well,
Gosh.
it's
I don't even
okay.
wake up in the middle of the night that often, so like if I like if you but like I wake up to sound very easily, so if you made like a subtle sound, like I don't know, putting a glass cup on a table and I kind of heard that, I'll be like, what the fuck is that? You know? So
Oh my god, you
that
know
would fucking freak me out.
a joke that my roommate liked to say back then? It's like if anyone like stayed over, she would be like, okay, well, feel free to do anything, but don't go outside of your room at like above 4 a.m.
Oh
until
shit!
like 7, because that's usually the time I get like snacks or drinks. But then the way she's like, don't go, like, okay, well, you're free to do anything, but be careful not to go outside of your room at 3 until 6. Have fun. And it makes it
context is so
significantly
scary.
more. I know, she made it purposely terrifying, and I'm like, you don't have to say it like that. You can just say it's like if you go outside at the time, just if you see anyone, it's probably just Mika, like chill. Like, but they said it in a way that's so terrifying. And it's like people just.
Well, either way, they'd be terrified, you know. So I guess like she's protecting them.
But
from,
like still.